But yeah, let's get into Black Adam. It's been out
Oh
for a
yeah.
little over a week, almost 2 weeks now. No, not 2 weeks, a
Mhm.
week.
A
It's only
week.
been
Oh
out a
my.
week.
Yeah. Oh.
Wow, we're back to reviewing, blockbusters within a week of a release. What is going on here?
Oh boy.
What
It's
is
because the
going on
hierarchy
here?
changed. That's why.
The hierarchy in the DCEU literally, quite literally changed. It's crazy, honestly. It literally changed. But yeah, Black Adam, it's been out for a week. It's been doing some numbers at the box office. The fans are loving it. The critics are hating it. The Rock is loving all the feedback he's getting, whether
Mhm.
positive or negative, as
You
he
know what?
should.
Cheers.
Um,
Cheers, Rock. Hey, you
cheers
did
to
it.
The Rock for this movie. But yeah, we got to see. At least I got to see it at the world premiere in New
Mhm.
York, which
Oh.
was great. So shout out to WB for hooking that one up. That was great. I mean,
Mhm.
honestly, the movie, I went in with low expectations. I know I was very
Mhm.
vocal on here. Like, listen, I don't know about this movie, man. I feel like The Rock is just gonna, all puns intended, gonna rock it, but not in the best way possible. You know what I mean? And granted, for the most part,
Mhm.
it was The Rock being The Rock. What can you do? You know what I mean? You can't take that out of him. But honestly, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. It has some highs, it has some really lows, it has some ones where I'm just like, oh, maybe I'm not feeling that a little too much. But overall, by the time everything wrapped up, I think I left out of the movie theater that day, with a pleasurable experience as The Rock changed the hierarchy of power in the DC universe. You know what I mean? So there's a lot to dive into the JSA, which I have a lot to say about the JSA, but we'll get to that once you guys kind of give
Mhm.
us your thoughts. I know I give my thoughts on social media and all that, which is why I'm not saying too much. I'd rather hear you guys and we pick the movie apart a little bit, talk about the big cameo and all that stuff.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
let me know what you guys think.
Gotcha. Boozer?
You can go.
No. Yeah, I will. Oh no, you know what? I will. No, just kidding.
He was just being
Nah,
courteous. He was just like, you sure?
honestly,
You sure? Because
you know
I'm
what's
about to.
funny? I always try to like give us a new different order every single time to switch it up a little bit, or like give our voices a rest. But honestly, yes, it was a phenomenal movie. Was it like everything that they promised and more? Not really, but it was a solid movie. I thought it wasn't
It's like
as
I keep
bad as
telling
people were
people,
saying.
what you see is what you're gonna get.
Exactly. And yes, am I mad? So here was one of the funny part, right? Like everybody's talking shit about like Rock being the only one without a accent and blah blah blah. But you got to forget, like everyone was talking in English. This is like everyone else's like second language, pretty much. Like anyone that lived in Kadak, um,
Mm-hmm.
and technically Black Adam. The reason why he knew English right away is because the magic. The magic is the reason why he knew English. That's just like that's the wisdom of, oh, I forget the Egyptian deity, but it is what it is. But
Mm,
the little that they like had to give him, he didn't have any major dialogue or anything like that.
yeah,
It
he
was
didn't have any major
fine.
speeches.
You know what I mean? And I
Which
think that was
honestly worked
exactly what
worked
it
to his
needed.
benefit. It worked
Exactly.
they worked it to perfection.
Exactly.
The
Because
less he said, the
unfortunately, I
more
don't,
effective he
yeah,
was.
exactly. And I feel, again, I think he's more of a physical actor than what he
Mm-hmm.
is a vocal actor. And I
Right.
don't try to take anything away from him because is one of the hardest workers in the room. But where they gave it to him, I think it worked. It was like the other things that kind of annoyed me. I think the kid was the worst thing in the whole movie.
Oh,
I
for
really
sure.
couldn't stand it at all. JSA, I thought they were fine. Pierce Bronson was obviously the best thing in there from them, but Aldis Hodge, I really enjoyed him. I just wish they
Mm-hmm.
less Black Panthered him, and gave
They
us a little
definitely
bit. Yeah, they went a
Black
little
Panthered
too
him.
off, like a little too much with that. But at the same time, I
Almost,
wish,
almost shot for shot.
yeah, him
Almost
jumping out
shot
of the
for shot.
plane, this and
I'm
that.
just
And I'm
like,
just
I'm
like,
watching that. I'm just like,
yeah, this
I
is, I
know
was like,
exactly where you got that from.
yeah, because here's the thing, Carter Hall in the comics is amazing. He's one of the coolest characters that with like a great backstory. He's immortal and so on. They didn't touch any base on that. And I get it. Black Adam movie, but at least give us a little bit more,
Just
just a little
slightly. When they were like,
something,
oh, I see you
you
in your
know?
next life. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, something,
slightly.
because that's what it
Throwaway
is too.
line.
he could have said it like to Dr.
Yeah.
Fate. He could have been like, you know me since I was when I was
Mhm.
younger. You came back and you're still like exactly how I remember you, type of thing. And that's why he's his old friend. He could even said like he was like, I knew you before you became Dr. Fate. You were a kid. You know what I mean? And you found me again, and this is how we're still together so long. This is why we're such close friends. Give me something more. I feel like they could have made their relationship a little stronger and made it even, made it like just made it better. You know what I
I
mean?
feel
Simple
like
words.
I feel like that would have been easier if Black
Mhm.
Adam was just the villain of a JSA movie. But I think because Black Adam was the main character, I feel like it was harder for them to add more
Mhm.
exposition time for
Right.
them. But I definitely
And then
agree.
that's
Like that
because
that would have been
the
better, like
Rock,
what you're saying. But I feel
right.
like that would have fit if the Rock, if Black Adam was just the
Mhm.
villain that the JSA had to fight. But
Yeah.
that's not how it
Exactly.
was, because
And
it was a different
honestly,
villain.
that's
Mhm.
mostly due to The Rock wanting to just, obviously, granted, you worked on this movie for 15 years. I get it.
Mhm.
You want to
Mhm.
be the star,
Mhm.
rightfully so. Because honestly, I'll be egotistical too. I've been Black Adam for 15 years, and this is my first movie as Black Adam. No, yeah. All eyes on me. I'm
Mhm.
I'm fucking Black Adam. So I don't blame him. But yeah, I agree with Boozer. If this was a JSA movie,
Mhm.
and he was, or even a Shazam movie to some degree, and he was the main villain, then yeah, you can get that kind of exposition and stuff like that, which honestly was needed. And mind you, you didn't even get the full JSA team. You only got like a few members.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah.
So it's
And they're
like,
not even like the traditional JSA
yeah,
team.
they're
It's
not the
literally two of them.
traditional. Yeah, there's only two of them in there, which is crazy. But yeah, I mean, it is what it
Mhm.
is.
Yeah, I
But I'll
mean,
let you guys finish before I dive
yeah.
into
Oh yeah,
my
yeah.
my
Boozer, yeah, finish
JSA
off, finish off.
complaints.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I enjoyed it way more than a lot of other DC movies that I thought I would. I did a little ranking on Letterboxd, and I was like, I'm surprised how high up I had Black Adam. I was
Mm.
surprised where it landed.
Okay.
But like at the end of the day, it's still, it's had its problems. Like I went in with low expectations as well, so like I feel
Mhm.
like it exceeded my expectations a little bit. I thought again the action and like the spectacle was really good. I thought Hawkman fighting was really fun. I would have
Mhm.
loved to see him mess with the weapons a little bit more. Like I love seeing him change that what
The
is that,
mace.
the mace
The
into
mace.
an
Mace
axe,
and yeah.
using the claws and everything.
Mhm.
And the
They
crazy
talked
thing
a
is
little
that
bit about
they
nth
didn't even
metal a little
fully
bit.
dive into what he
They
can do with
didn't.
that nith metal, to be
No,
honest.
yeah, they really didn't. They just said they were talking about the ship being made out of it
Mhm.
as well. Um, I did notice, like, for me, and it's just, I guess, because I'm more familiar with the character, but
Mhm.
like I knew the aspect, that they were doing Carter Hall, because I was like, ain't no way you got a mansion like that unless like you probably like been living for a long time,
Exactly.
collecting
Yeah.
monies and whatnot. Like you've been collecting wealth for a long time, my dude. So I was like, okay, and then they said his name, and I was like, okay, so they're going with Carter Hall.
Mhm.
Um, so I thought that was pretty interesting. But yeah, no, like of course, Dr. Fate was a standout. I've been dying, especially since like we finally got Doctor Strange. I was like, DC, what are you doing? Let's get some Dr. Fate. Like, what a great character to introduce. And I liked a little bit you saw him do the little finisher from
Yeah.
Injustice.
No,
That
he
was pretty
definitely
cool.
did. I was like,
Yep,
yo, I was so hyped
straight
when he
from the
did
game.
yo, right
Straight
out
from
of
the
the
game.
game.
And I
I was
love
like, oh,
the
yo, he did it. He's like, I was like, yo,
I
let's
also
go.
because he's possessed, I loved the voice change
Mhm.
when he was Dr. Fate, like how he
Mhm.
Yeah.
sounded once he had that helmet on. I was
I
like,
enjoyed
oh,
parts of it, but some of it was a little too muffled to the point you wouldn't really understand what he was saying. Dude, like
oh, I
especially
Mhm.
during the
really,
fight sequence. Yeah.
I was able to hear
At
him.
least to me.
Yeah,
Maybe not
I
Okay,
caught it. Yeah, well, I was sitting pretty close. I
yeah,
was, but like it was not close, but at a good distance from
yeah.
the screen. So,
I think
yeah.
Cyclone and Atom Smasher were
Mhm.
pretty cool. I think the effects
Mhm.
they did were pretty neat, especially with Cyclone. I thought that was like very interesting
Oh, I thought it was
on how they.
gorgeous. It
Yeah,
was
that was
yeah,
like
visually
visually,
gorgeous. Yeah,
yeah.
she just
yeah.
They
is
did a great
wonderful.
job with like
Mhm.
that unique power of like wind
Uh,
Aerokinesis.
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 Yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep, yep.
Mhm.
Um, but
She's an
yeah, no, I
airbender.
I when it comes to the at the end of the day, like the main villain was a big CGI
Sabak.
Sabak.
villain,
Sabak.
Sabak. He wasn't.
Bro, you
It
could have
wasn't
easily
an
just had Trigon.
yeah.
A
It wasn't
Trigon.
an. It wasn't an
He looks just
interesting.
like Trigon.
It wasn't an. I will say the
Close.
one thing is like they were so focused on like the JSA and Black Adam. The villain just wasn't interesting.
Mhm.
Like I thought it was good fights, all around, from like the JSA
Mhm.
fighting Black Adam and Black Adam fighting the soldiers in the beginning, Black Adam fighting Sabat, and like even the JSA fighting Sabat. I thought like the action scenes were fun to watch, but like the villain, there was just no interest in caring about like the villain. You know what I mean? I had no sense of like how dangerous he's going to be. I had no thought about like who we knew he was just this big, this demon, whatever.
Mhm.
So like it was the villain wasn't really interesting. It was cool to see fighting. I didn't think the CG was bad, especially when like they were like close up not fighting. I think that was a little bit better as well. But I think it would have been nice to have like an interesting villain in this. It felt kind of like I guess there was no investment into that fight, other than I was pissed off that spoilers. I think we've all been saying spoilers, but like
no,
they killed
full on spoilers.
yeah,
We're not
he
holding back.
killed Dr. Fate, and like it's like, how you gonna do my man's like that? So, but yeah, at the end of the day, I definitely agree. The way they incorporated the kid was way different than the way like Shazam did. It felt so forced. Yeah, like that character somehow, especially with like Black Adam flying all over the place, how that kid was just ending up where Black Adam was all the time. And then at one point where Cyclone, where they were all fighting the JSA and Black Adam, and the kid was like running to Black Adam, and the mom was like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "I'm helping him." How, my guy? You're old enough to know that you can't help him, that there's nothing you can do. You're not like you're not a 6-year-old. Like a 6-year-old I would get being like, I'm gonna help, because like they have no concept of what they can do, and like death isn't even a concept for them. But that kid's like an early like teenager, like I don't know what, 13, 14, 15. Like he's old enough to know like, what are you gonna do? Throw a skateboard for it? Like, hey, use my skateboard. Like, you're not. And then like, and him always using the skateboard like through thick and thin, running from the agents, running from the zombies.
When he was sneaking out of the freaking hallway, he rolled on the freaking skateboard.
I was like, how is that not going to make more noise?
I was like, why are you doing that, you idiot? I'm like, so again,
bro, they wanted to make him a California skater boy so bad.
I don't know what they were doing with, and like the writing and incorporation of that kid into the movie, just like I get they wanted, because like he had a kid and all that, and they wanted to have those parallels, but like, man, it just is. And also like The Rock never really showed enough emotion for me to think that he actually cares about that kid. Not once. Like even when he like charged, when the kid was going to get shot and he charged, I still didn't think like he truly cared. Like I don't know. He just like, it was more like, oh, I don't want to see my son. Like my son died. I don't want someone else's son. Like I don't know. I didn't feel any connection.
So fun fact too. I don't know you guys. The Rock's show on TV and all that kind of stuff. The guy that plays College Rock, the younger version and all that, and when he plays in college, he was the one that was he was the champion version of his son.
The champion version of his son.
So I thought that was funny. So
actually, and it was cool that they gave him the actual comic book look. Or before obviously before Teth Adam becomes the champion. That was super. I was like, oh shit, I wasn't expecting you guys to bring that look.
See, I did like the little twist they did with that. I did like that.
So I personally, I think it would have been even cooler if it was him stealing the power, because I feel like it would have gave him that more of the
because he does that in the comic book, right?
Yeah, well, in the comic book, it's actually his nephew. His nephew gets the power. His nephew shares the power, but then the moment that he gets the power, like at one point he makes it to the point of, look, yes, you might have been chosen, but he was like, you're not the right type of champion that we need right now. You are trying to be too heroic when we need someone just to fucking slay everybody. Like we just need to kill. And this, when he got it, and then the reason why he went on the rampage was because obviously he's saying he missed his son, but he was avenging his son and all that kind of stuff. But I felt like it kind of took away from why is he so, quick to kill? You know what I mean? It's not like
they wanted to make him. They wanted to make him more sympathetic because they don't want to make him a villain. They want to make him. They absolutely want him to be like the vigilante hero. The Punisher, if you will. They want to make him much more sympathetic. Oh, he was so rageful because his son died that he ended up, almost destroying conduct. So I get why they did it, but like I do agree, like I would have liked what you're mentioning.
Of
better.
Rock. A lot of that was because of the Rock.
Yeah.
He was real adamant because Warner Brothers did want to make him like a full out villain. Like, no, Black Adam.
Makes
you're
sense.
gonna give people the full blown villain. Black Adam, but he's like, nah. And I don't know if that's like a self-conscious thing. Maybe he wouldn't have been able to kind of fully dive into that dark mental space to kind of deliver that kind of
being
performance,
the villain,
of being a full-blown villain. Maybe
has he ever played a bad guy?
Yeah, he did. He played the Scorpion King, and that was horrendous. It was outright comical.
Was he a bad guy in the Scorpion? Well, in his solo movie, he wasn't.
He wasn't.
Solo, he wasn't. But in The Mummy, when he comes out,
he was there for like 2 seconds, though.
Yeah,
and he's a giant scorpion that didn't even.
But he brought in but he brought in the Army of the Dead to help him fight, so that made him the villain in that movie.
But he had to act as a villain?
Yeah, no. See, and that's what. But here's the thing, though. Even with that, like him killing his own nephew to make sure that he doesn't get the power anymore or whatever, and then have the power for himself, that didn't necessarily make him a villain. Like, you know what I mean? He does bad things, but he's doing it for a cause. You know what I mean? So it still brings him with the aesthetic of like, hey, guess what? You know what? I'm willing to do the worst things ever to make protect sure, my people, like, you know, it's the needs of the many against the needs of the few. Because he was like, if you know, yes, I could have been partners with my nephew and we could have saved the world and all that kind of stuff, or this world potentially, but we would have probably lost everyone in doing so because we had to do it his way. We had to do it the way that no lives are taken, or at least amount of lives as possible. But guess what? You know, he was the realist. He's like, you're going to have to break a bunch of fucking eggs to get the end result that you need. You have to scramble this shit. But again, I get it. Yes, like Ozzy said, maybe it's a whole thing of like he wanted to make sure that these, like the audiences and kids in general saw him as like, yeah, he does a little dirty, but there's a reason. You know what I mean?
I think that's what. I agree.
You know, and that's fine. But you know, I feel like
I don't think he just definitely didn't want Black Adam depicted as a villain.
Exactly, and I think
not fully at least.
Yeah, sure. Exactly. So, and I think that's fine. I again, back to the kid though, he was annoying as hell, and I know what they were also potentially setting up is his, you know, Osiris and the kid Ramu. I think there's two. So he has his own Shazam family, but it's just legitimately
the kid actually gets powers in the comics.
Exactly. So, the kid gets like the mother and the son gets like, well, technically the kid is supposed to be his son's son with Osiris.
Well, yeah,
she's like
her name is Isis.
Is it Isis?
Mom.
I thought it was
Isis.
Osiris.
No, Isis.
Okay, maybe that's why I'm
because she was supposed to be playing Isis when they first announced her casting. She was supposed to be playing, you know, come out in the movie as Isis, as Black Adam's wife.
Yes.
So I mean, it was a little disappointing we didn't get to see that transformation.
But my wife was like, she was like, that girl was ready to risk it all. She was like, that girl was ready to risk it all for him. She was like, are you he's willing to do things, okay? He's willing to get things done. When she was talking to like the JSA, like she was ready to risk it all for the Rock.
She was so bad. Like that scene alone, I'm like, did she just mom everyone? I'm like, fucking hell. I was like, come on.
Yeah,
it was so annoying. It's so annoying.
Was ready to marry Black Adam 100%.
Dude, that's what happened.
Yeah. You know what else? You know what else? The scene where he's like destroying everybody and they're playing. They're overplaying it with painted black. It's like, bro, come on. It's like, come on.
Yeah,
we could have been a much more badass track, like something that would have fit the scene a little more.
Yeah,
I don't want to see The Rock.
One thing
kill a whole bunch of mercenaries to paint it black.
One thing I did like is him just like floating through shit. That shit was pretty funny. Like him just floating forward.
Oh, the first scene, like, oh yeah, he's in super speed and all that kind of stuff, and he's just
when he's just slowly like floating through walls. Like when he woke up, like
when he broke out.
Yeah, when he told the kid to like move, and then he's just like, and like he's moving the couch because he's just like floating, and the couch is just sliding over. I enjoyed that. One thing I didn't like though is I enjoyed for the most part Hawkman. I think that, by the way, the suit looked amazing. Absolutely incredible.
Oh, I think all the costumes all around actually looked really
and I very much enjoy what's his name, Aldous Hodge, right?
Yes. I love Aldous Hodge.
I don't know if anyone's ever watched Leverage, but highly recommend that show. He's also in Leverage. Really good show. If you liked shows back in the in the day on like USA, those like sitcoms on there,
he was doing that.
It was really good. It basically was it kind of was like a spy espionage type thing a little bit. They basically screwed over like horrible rich bad people and stuff like that, like rich people that screw people over, mob bosses, bad people that screw over good people, and they basically were the bad people that screwed over the bad people. But I hated that they really too many lines of like, you don't kill people, like you don't kill people, like it was just like the whole heroes don't do this, like they I feel like they could have had it more succinct, you know what I mean, instead of like every 2 seconds they're arguing over it. I feel like they could have either had like one nice dialogue speech about it, but like it just felt like too repetitive of him just saying you don't kill people, and him going I do and I don't care.
That and then the whole Black Adam, I'm not a hero.
Yeah, it's way too much.
Like they were really like
you could have been more succinct. You could have been more streamlined with it, and I feel like you could have done more with less. If you just,
it was like all up in your face, like, he's not a fucking hero. That's how it was. I was like, bro, I get it. And
his girl was like, he's not a hero. He's willing to do what needs to be done. Okay. She was ready.
That whole family was annoying, honestly. Like, and even just like
God, the way they interjected there's so much for like humans just really interjecting. And like it makes sense for like Shazam because like they're adopted family.
Yes.
Like that makes sense. And like it's a kid navigating superpowers with another kid. Like that makes logical sense why like there's a human and a superhero tagging along with each other. This just felt like really,
it was just a little much again. And they throwing up the dynasty sign and shit like that, and I'm just like, bro, I'm like, I get it, like how are you getting everybody in this? I was just like, you have literally only 30 people helping you in this whole freaking country and shit, and I'm like, okay, whatever. I was like, whatever, I get it. You're fighting like 40 dead people. Sure.
Listen, I'm like, at the end of the day, they committed, so I'm better with it. But like, it got a little campy with like these people saw like the living hell creatures, like rise from the dead, and they're just like, give me a golf club, let's do this. None of y'all are scared.
Exactly. It's such bullshit.
No, because I get it. The whole thing is like they've been oppressed so long. They've been screwed over so long. They're in like fuck it mode. I get it. But like they were like, and like the kid rolling around the corner, like, I got backup, y'all. Like,
yo, that was so Michael Bay-ish.
That was a very Michael Bay scene. That was a very that felt very. The only thing that was missing. The only thing that was missing was like an explosion in the background. That was the only thing that was missing.
Nah, that's not the only thing that was missing. All that was missing was Shia LaBeouf on the skateboard, running, like yelling, Linkin Park playing in the background, and some explosions and shit.
Oh my god, I am going to, if that clip is on YouTube, I'm absolutely splicing that with Linkin Park.
Let's do it.
You gotta do it.
Honestly, it was I think that was the worst of it, everything there, but besides that,
that and Adam Smasher. Unfortunately, I fucking absolutely despised Adam Smasher.
I didn't hate Adam Smasher. I kind of liked him.
He was
it came off a little too Deadpoolish to me. It's like he's trying to be funny.
He seemed like just like a bumbling kid.
He's a bumbling
idiot. It didn't feel like he was trying to like. I don't know. I don't know that.
He felt more flashy to me. Because then all of a sudden they were talking about, I burn a lot of calories, going down to Adam's size.
So with the bucket of fried chicken.
Yes, like, I'm like, fucking hell. I was like,
screen,
this is literally.
Yeah, where did he even get the bucket of fried chicken? Like that's
fried chicken.
The Flash would make sense because like the Flash could just like zoot over like 2 states away, like 2 countries away, and grab chicken and be back in a millisecond. But like he's not a Flash. He's just a guy that gets big. So in this whole in this whole situation where like my people are probably running, where did you get a bucket of fried chicken?
Why would you have this Adam Smasher when you have the original in the movie, and then you don't even have
the original was an old man.
Well, that's the Fonz. Well, he was the Fonzie though. I'm just saying, it like at the same time. Well, here's the thing. So original Adam Smasher is back from the WW2 era. So remember, he fought Nazis. He was there with the original Dr. Fate, Carter Hall, and depending on which version you go to, sometimes Wonder Woman's with them, sometimes it's Jay Garrick, Flash, and all that kind of stuff. It all depends on the situation. So yeah, Fate, it was like his he was still able to function because of the magic. Adam Smasher couldn't do it anymore, but it was just funny. Obviously, they put in the Fonz, you know what I mean? Being the original, which is hilarious. Good for him. He got his probably 1 million for that. You know what I mean? But I think the whole food thing, that was just too much. Like, hey, Ezra Miller with a giant pizza, hopping into Batman's whip and shit like that.
I was fine with the joke of him talking about like being hungry, but like. How did he get that chicken? That just made it would have made sense if it was a fly. I would have been like, okay, because he can just zoot wherever he wants. But yeah, that just made no sense why he has fried chicken.
Well, if he gets the fried chicken as he's giant,
unless he went to a quick trip back to the ship and the ship had fried chicken.
That's a possibility. Because think about it, when he's giant, it only takes him 3 steps to get everywhere. And maybe he just took the fried chicken on his one big finger. Like, hey, just give me some fried chicken. And he walked it all the way down, shrink down, and now he had fried chicken because he was only 3 steps away.
That's a lot of work to do when there's like a battle happening.
You know what? Yeah. If we got a chance to interview these guys,
is on the line,
you know what I mean?
Too much to do.
Well, wait, no, that was at the end. That wasn't. So he won. They won already.
That was even before. That was before the final battle.
No, the fried chicken happened when he was sitting on the throne.
It happened when it did happen.
It was after. It was after
he did.
It happened after. Yeah, it did.
But
either way, like chaos has just happened. Like chaos has just happened.
Yeah, that's not.
There's been living dead.
No, it wasn't after that because Dr. Fate ain't died. Dr. Fate did.
No, Dr. Fate.
Dr. Fate erased the chicken.
Wait,
so then right, he erased the chicken.
So that scene was before they.
That was before the fight with
get the kid. Yeah. Fucking hell.
Yes,
I want to say.
I know. No, it was
well
at
before
the end
Sabak.
of the fight with Black Adam, where Black Adam finally concedes to do to
change Shazam and give up the powers and whatever.
That's when it was.
Away.
It was before Sabak, and that's another tough thing because of all the fights. It is kind of like hard to like. The pacing felt very weird in the movie.
Yeah,
that like the fact that we're confused when this happened. It definitely happened before Sabak.
It happened before Sabak, but this was right before them going to save the kid. Remember, they all meet at the top. They're coming back up. They were like, okay, let's have the conversation this time. Then they found out the kid was kidnapped. That's where they go because that's why Dr. Fate was still there. He disappeared the chicken.
That's when he smashes the throne before they go off to go save the kid.
No, they never smashed the throne yet. Remember the smashing the throne
wasn't the smashing of the throne at the end?
Very end. After he killed his
Dr. Fate's already
this was before the force field thing and everything and them saving the kid.
Yeah, because that's when that's she when gets the call and
Remember they all walked up together. So most likely there was a street vendor with chicken. That's probably what it was. You know what I mean? And because remember, they weren't fighting the dead yet.
They got the conduct fried chicken, like a little pop up, like
I definitely know trucks. They did. Oh yeah, totally. Remember, that's a tourist attraction right there. They definitely have it there.
Like look every every 2 blocks and shit.
This is how much we took from the movie, by the way, guys. We're thinking more about the fried chicken than what we are about the movie because this is what it was.
I can go for some conduct fried chicken.
I can go for some fried chicken right now. I made some chicken today.
I always wanted to make my own fried chicken, but I feel like the process is just so long that I'm like, I'd rather just drive to get it.
What are you talking about?
I'm saying it seems like a long process.
You gotta get quicker with your breading station because frying only takes like a couple minutes.
Like I said, it seems like a long process to me, and I'm
a
fine just
minutes
going
too
somewhere
long
else.
for Ed.
Give me 20 minutes. Give me 20 minutes. Give me 20 minutes.
Okay, then you're welcome to come by. You're welcome to come by, sir.
You can also, get an air fryer.
Now he's thinking.
Get an air fryer. That'll make it a lot easier. Get an air fryer. I have one.
Okay. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Henry Cavill's back.
Henry Cavill is back.
Dope.
Obviously,
best thing ever.
It was cool. That's all I need. Cameo. That's all I need.
I love it.
Honestly, it was one of the few things that like I think we all knew that DC was like spreading away from like the Snyderverse and everything like that, and we didn't know Are they going to just recast everyone? Obviously, we still don't know what they're doing with that Flash movie. But we thought like we were like, okay, are they just going to recast everyone? Or are they just going to recast some of them? Because Aquaman and Wonder Woman seem to be still positive reception, so they're probably going to want to keep Godot and Momoa. So like, what are they doing? Obviously, Superman's been sidelined forever. So
Right.
and then there was like rumors, oh, they're going to stick with Supergirl and just sideline Superman. But that was all supposed to be in the Flash movie, which is still not up for things. So yeah, pretty much like I'm happy that we got him because that's really like I just really wanted Henry Cavill back. I just think he made a great Superman. I think he deserves to get a sequel. I think he deserves to get another shot at like because I don't consider Batman vs Superman a Superman sequel at all.
Oh
Just do
no,
not
not at all.
consider that.
That
I know a
was
lot of
that
people
was a
consider
Batman
that
film.
as a sequel.
That was an event film that just
Yeah.
wasn't. I mean,
That was
No,
like a
yeah.
mini Avengers, like a mini Justice League, because like
Right.
it literally had all three.
that was Justice League
Um,
0.5 before you got to Justice
Absolutely.
League 1.
100%.
He
But
even had the slick in the hair.
oh yeah, he had the
at the
curly,
moment. I was like,
curly
Mhm.
Q.
I was like, yeah.
Listen, I thought they were gonna fake it out and just have him talk behind just a silhouette behind the
Mhm.
shroud of smoke. And I was like, yo, WB, if you do this again, bro, if you do this again, mind you, originally that was the plan. That was the
What
plan originally.
was what?
He was
The
supposed to
plan
show up in
originally
Shazam.
was he was
Oh
supposed
yeah,
to
yeah.
show. No, but he was supposed to show up in Black Adam without the face reveal.
No, they
gotcha.
recorded that just in case
Mhm.
because like it still wasn't even like
Yeah, because
finalized.
he wasn't signed on officially at that
Yeah,
time,
which
but
is
the idea was,
insane.
which is insane. So this was literally a last minute like addition because they shot
Nice.
these scenes separately. So they shot The Rock by himself with the scene. They obviously used their stand-ins and stuff like that
Mhm.
for him to shoot the scene. They finally got the call like from Cavill to be like, yo, Zoom meetings and all that. Yo, you're gonna do this, cool. Let's meet up in London because that's where he was at the time. Let's film it up in London. We'll edit it together, and bam, that's how the scene came
That's why it
together.
was so smoky. I guess that makes sense. Actually,
Yeah,
like
that
it
would
wasn't
make
for
sense why.
aesthetics.
One thing,
Just...
one thing that's always interesting about like superhero movies, and it's always a tough question because like you know these other beings exist, and it's like, where was Superman? There was a lot happening. I'm sure that was on the news. Where was
See,
Superman?
dude,
And
we'll
then
talk
it's
about
like,
that
oh well, he
another
was
day.
actually off planet for that
Yeah.
day, fighting somewhere on maybe he was fighting on Thanagar. I don't know.
He was fighting Brainiac at that time. He was
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah,
hold
he
up,
was fighting. He
Brainiac,
was fight.
can you spare
It
2
was his
seconds? I'll
first
be
fight
right
with
back.
Brainiac, and then we'll
Mhm.
eventually get Man of Steel sequel where he's fighting Brainiac again.
See, I always tell people this the same way. I'm just like, when it comes to comics, yes, we know they're around, but guess what? They have their own lives. They have their own villains.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't just yes, Superman is one of those. Him and Flash are one of those few
Yeah,
exceptions
where it's
that
like,
they can
where are you? Like
possibly
you could be
get there
anywhere at
right
once.
away.
Yeah,
But hey, if someone keeps them busy more than 10 minutes, they're busy for 10 minutes. It's as simple as that. Batman obviously has the excuse of like, I don't need you guys. Fuck off. Don't leave me alone. Don't come in unless I call
Exactly.
you. He was like, wait until I literally blood spilling out of my mouth. I need help. That's Batman. He's
Wait
like,
till my
you know what I
back is
mean?
broken.
It's something, right?
Spinal.
But in general, that's how I always say to everybody. I'm just like, it's because they were busy. I'm like, you're busy.
Mhm.
I was like, I called you when I wanted to go out to get some beers and you didn't show up. What were you doing? Like,
got sent a
there's the
voicemail.
same thing. It's the same thing, man.
Word.
But I think it's awesome. I can't wait to see what comes after. Now I'm more worried about how much of the even fight we need to see because obviously we're going to see Black Adam, technically the hero. And obviously he does have an advantage with magic, but it doesn't mean that he's that much stronger than Superman. And I just hope it's well done when that fight eventually comes up.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to make a
it.
conflict for that, but
We just need to see how Shazam does, and because that's where the conflict happens.
You know
That's
how they got to do it the way the animated movie did it, where he was just whooping everybody ass. Then he whooped Shazam's ass, and then Shazam's like, "Yo, I gotta stop fucking around because he just beat the Justice League. It's up to me." So I think yeah, you can have. I don't think a film focusing solely on Superman and Black Adam fighting each other would be good. You will have to go the animated movie
it's too much.
where you have the Justice League and he's to wash them. Granted, Wonder Woman and Shazam and Superman give them a run for his money, but ultimately he beats them to the point where Shazam is like, all right, the Justice League is down. I got to do this on my own. I mean, I think that would be the better option.
But then he would be like, is he okay with that? Because like he would really be like the villain.
Yeah,
they will have to. Unfortunately, you will have to make him a little more on the villain side if you want to do that a little.
There's got to be, we got to figure out I'm sure there's a comic book that I can probably use as an adaptation, because there's something. I know there's something, but like I said, like I don't feel comfortable with him like just whooping the Justice League for nothing. You know what I mean? Like,
like what would be the reason that he does that?
Exactly.
In this world,
right.
And then again, even in the comics, Shazam and Superman have more than stayed toe to toe with him. But the problem is that once the magic kind of overtook Superman because he was just too slow to notice something, that's where Superman loses.
People often forget that Superman is a little weak to magic. That is his weakness.
Exactly.
It's not just kryptonite.
Nope. Magic, for whatever reason, I think it's funny. Magic supersedes everything in superpowers in general. But the problem with magic is that it will backfire on you. It's very, it's unconventional. People, there's no true mastery of magic. Magic will screw you over if you give it a chance. So that's one good thing that they've always shown with, like, when it comes to that, magic isn't perfect. There is going to be something going.
Fuck around too much and you find out.
Yep. You literally get a third eye, or black fingers. You become Scarlet Witch and such. We know these things.
Or your literal essence gets sucked away and shit. So I mean deformities. But yeah, I mean, like I said, for the most part, I enjoyed Black Adam for what it was. I mean, I went in with low expectations. I actually came out enjoying the movie and having a movie, despite its flaws and his hiccups along the way, being much better than what I thought it would be. And to me, listen, I had a good time at the movies. That's an absolute win for me. So not much I can really.
Wait, side note, was there an additional scene after Henry Cavill's, or no? Right?
No, that was the only one. It's like, I think about it. What were we gonna do?
What do you give after that?
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough.
Give after that.
Fair enough.
It's like you can't. There's nothing you can top after having that, especially after so many years and all the speculation behind it. So, but that's all we got for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed all the back-to-back episodes. We haven't done that in a while. You guys should have the latest Anime The Basement episode by now, the previous episode, this episode. We have some more interviews coming. Check out all the interviews that we dropped already, whether it be on the website, mostly on YouTube, but we'll post them on social media as well and on the website. There's a lot of content that we've been working really, really hard this year. So we appreciate all the support that you guys give us. Enjoy the episodes. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe here on YouTube. Turn on the notifications so you guys do not miss a single upload. Follow the Nerdy Basement and Boozer literally everywhere on social media. He's not wherever you find the Nerdy Basement, you're gonna find Boozer there. So find him there. But that's it for us this week. We'll see you guys on the next one. As always, stay nerdy, my friends.
Peace.
Peace.